So welcome to the Brightwells preview. This is effectively part 2. We've already had the prequel that you may have already seen. This is for the June the 19th and 20th sale, the classic car auction, including Best of British and a special Cotswold collection, and then day 2, the online garage for the more modern 80s plus cars. So let's have a look around the barn and see what's here. There'll be a few more things coming in over the weekend. The catalogue closes Friday the 7th. We're a couple of days away from that now, but a week on from when we filmed the prequel. So there's a few more things here we'll have a look at. And a few more things will no doubt come in over the weekend, so we'll do a little follow-up next week, including a Land Rover Tomcat racing truck, a pre-war racing MG, and a few other interesting bits and pieces, including an extremely rare Daimler convertible, I think. So let's see what's here. One of the interesting things in this sale, given we always get interesting things, but this is particularly interesting. This is a 1979 Triumph Dolomite 1500 HL, so 1.5 litre 4-speed manual. But what makes this car a little bit unique is that it's only done 14,900-ish miles. It's been in storage since the early 90s. First owner had it for a long time, second owner had it for a long time, then it was a deceased estate and remained in storage, passing to its next owner in 2023 and then on to our vendor, but during which time it's not been on the road. It's just been titivated a little bit to run and drive. But it's effectively unadulterated, original paintwork. There's a little bit of crazing and some minor bits of surface corrosion, but you can see the colour, I think it's Tahiti blue, it still shines and has luster. The bumpers look very nice. So the black cloth interior in this car still looks and feels good. It's comfortable, it feels tight. It's even got a nice sort of semi-new car-ish smell, which is nice. You know, these bits of vinyl, they haven't deteriorated too much. The paintwork's good, generally, apart from the little bits we mentioned. Wheels look good. Under the bonnet still looks nice and smart and tidy. Seems to start, run and drive and feel good. Considering it's been in storage since the 90s, the last MOT was 92 with just a handful of miles less than it's got now. Last on the road with road tax in 92 as well. What an unusual thing. I think this has been picked up by some of the news media outlets, the car ones obviously, because it's such an unusual, unique story. They love stuff like this, as do we. Let's have a look what else is here. So talking about unique cars, here we have another one. 1967 Daimler 250 V8 that's been converted into a convertible, as you can no doubt see, fairly early on in its life. We believe possibly by Tickford, the vendor thinks. Significant chassis strengthening, obviously, otherwise it would open up like a banana. And recently rebuilt engine, we understand, come to us from Oxfordshire. But you have a look at it, it looks superb. You wonder why the Jaguar Daimler didn't do this originally. And the interior is befitting of any gentleman's club. A lovely walnut dashboard with inlay, leather interior, even the stereo or radio, the original one, has got walnut trim on it. Just a really handsome thing, particularly on these centre knock wire wheels. Find another one. So here we have another interesting car, 1966 Mustang notchback. Who doesn't love a Mustang, particularly when it's sort of satin black, and originally a 302 that's been treated to a 347 stroker kit. So the vendor now reckons it produces just over about 400 horsepower. It was originally a circuit racing car in Texas, imported to the UK in 2016. It's very loud, very fast, NASCAR style roll cage inside. It just looks awesome. Look at it on these big wheels. What a thing. And it's guided at only £15,000. That seems extremely exciting value. Who wouldn't want that? All the noise, all the go, and all the coolness, all the cool factor. I'd have it any day, but then again, I like silly, loud, fast cars, so it ticks my box. What a cool thing. As an afterthought on this Mustang, if your name is Dave, given that it says Mustang Dave, it could be even more of a box ticker. Fantastic. Stag from 1977 is worthy of a mention too. Only 39,000 miles from new. The guys had it 19 years. Original 3-litre V8 manual overdrive car. We challenge you to find a nicer one for the money, guided at about £15,000. It's really handsome, lovely period colour, looks as nice as it is. That's high accolade from us, I have to say. Very good indeed. And then behind me we have this Ford Cortina that's been treated to a race-tuned Lotus engine. So it goes as well as it looks. Much better than it would have done originally with its sort of 1600 engine. So Lotus tuned engine, which is worth a fortune on its own, no doubt. Lovely red vinyl interior. In fact, there's lots of red and vinyl everywhere. Very cool. Contrasts nicely with the cream exterior and the green Lotus stripes. Unusual thing this, again, find another. So here we've got a trio of interesting cars, a Bristol 400 series. This will appear on the website shortly, so have a look to see the details. But here we have a 1948 Triumph Roadster. Yes, it's covered in lots of dust because it's been in a garage for a number of years, but believe it or not, it's believed to be in running order, one of just 4,500 made or thereabouts, and only 600 thought to be remaining. The last time we sold one of these that was in running order, it made just under 35 grand. So this looks highly tempting at the estimate of 6 to 8. Okay, it needs a little bit of work perhaps, but believed to be in running order. What a handsome car. Now, talking about handsome cars, look at this, W111 series 220 SE from 1963. What a beautiful aristocratic coupe, imported to the UK in 2021 and restored to a very high standard, as you can see, in Sweden. They have different standards over there, a bit like in Germany. You can see that when you look closely, that the quality of the timber work inside, the leather or vinyl as it is, or MB Tech interior. Very nice, lovely steering wheel, a really atmospheric place to sit. And no one's ever going to deny that you're not stylish driving one of these, or potentially aristocratic, as we say. What a handsome thing. The convertibles are worth the most with the V8, but this looks absolutely exceptional. Lovely pillarless coupe. So from that 1963 icon of style and substance, the Merc, to a more bizarre offering. So believe it or not, this used to be a Volkswagen Carmen gear, which is still the basis underneath. It was then rebodied into what we see here, including these unusual gull-wing doors with MX-5 seats from a Mark I. It was then converted to electric, so the original Volkswagen engine was taken away and thrown away. An electric motor was put in, and it was used as a no CO2 kind of car, as it advertises on the back. Now the electric motor has been removed, so you can basically do what you wish with it. Put an air-cooled lump back in it, put electric motors back in it. The choice is yours. You'll certainly be a unique man on the road anyway, that's for sure. It's an odd looking thing, but kind of cool in a bizarre kind of way. Guided at 2 to 3 or thereabouts. Yeah, and different, hey? You can't argue that we don't offer you selection here. So this sale also has a couple of Jowetts in, who have a Javelin PC Deluxe, sympathetically restored about 20 years ago. The car looks to be in lovely order. It's still got its 1.5 litre flat 4 engine. So Deluxe being wooden dashboard and leather. A real handsome shape. You've got to say, it still looks sleek. Now from one Jowett to another, but a bit of a different one. We've got a Jowett Jupiter Special by Radford, so we'll go and have a look at that one. So from one Jowett to another, but here a very unusual car, a Jowett Jupiter Special by Harold Radford, the coach builders, based on a 1956 Jowett Jupiter platform. They then got the platform, had a Norwegian body shell, which was then modified to fit. It was done over several years. The car, or the chassis, is originally a 1950 chassis, but the car was completed a couple of years later by Radford's because of a cancelled order. There were some delays. The car was then built and then registered in 1956 and sold to its first owner, a fairly famous movie maker, crime writer, Ernest Dudley, which is his pen name, wrote some famous crime novels. He had it for a few years, then it changed hands a few times more. It's quite a well-known car in the club. Retains its original 1500cc flat 4-cylinder engine. Okay, it's a bit odd looking with odd proportions, but it's a hell of a thing as a tourer. Done lots of rallies, lots of photographs of it dating back to the 50s on the file. A very interesting car. Our vendor saw it a few years ago, fell in love with its bizarre proportions and shape, and has loved it ever since, covering a modest mileage in it, but guided at 10 to 12,000 pounds. And these special bodied Jowetts have their own following. There's a few of them, but all relatively unique. So worth a look, this. Here's a car that's extremely in vogue, very popular right now, and also increasingly rare. One of only just over 4,000 built. This is a 1985 M635 CSI, and it's manual. So there's only about 230 of these left registered in Britain, only about 80 attacked. So this is an increasingly rare car. It's come out of 20 years storage. The vendor spent quite a bit of money getting it recommissioned, including new rear suspension, reconditioned calipers, etc. And it's done a few miles in it since. Relatively trouble-free, I gather. But what a handsome car, alpine white with black leather, and of course manual transmission, which makes these extremely desirable compared to the autos. 286 brake horsepower, a real quality car from the 80s, and available in auto manual, as we say. This one's manual, an earlier car, not a facelift Highline car, but just such a handsome thing on cross-spoke wheels, guided at 22 to 24,000 pounds. This is an absolutely safe and sound investment, something like this. The values have been continue to increase and will probably continue to increase some more, so get involved. One that definitely gets our thumbs up. So on offer from a deceased estate, the Clyde Webster collection, this 1981 MGB Roadster, replete with factory hardtop in matching orange. This is unusual because the guy who owned it and bought it new, worked in the factory and saw his car being built and was part of the production process. So he bought it, kept it, and he died unfortunately recently. And the car's shown just 9,325 miles. There can't be that many left like this with such low mileage and low ownership. Yeah, lovely thing. It's coming with another one from the same deceased estate. There's a couple of paintings inside the car of both of the cars. The other one's on its way to us at the moment, so keep an eye on the catalogue and you'll see it. So we're going to take you outside now, so you'll have to forgive any road noise in the background, but there's a lot of cars outside that have arrived that are still being processed, but there's a couple of interesting finds outside that we're going to show you, not to mention this lovely Lotus 7. So come and have a look. Look at this old Bristol truck. Let's have a look inside. How do you even get in? So here we have a very unusual thing, replete with a little stop thing that pops up here. 1962 Bristol HDG tractor unit, runs and drives, was used obviously for hauling goods and things like that. Probably many gears for its enormous 15-litre engine. But if you're into your transport, vintage transport trucks, great. Looks like there's a little heater in the back here, passenger seat. Not many mod cons or creature comforts compared to modern trucks, but quite a comfortable, cool place to be. There's old maps and stuff here, huge engine cover. Great visibility though, I have to say. You can pretty much see any cyclist that you might be about to run over, whether you choose to or not. Great. So let's try and get out of this thing now without looking like a complete spoon. So hot off the lorry is a lorry. It looks to be a 1969 Ford cab over with a sort of single axle trailer, believed to be ex-railway. Don't know a huge amount about this yet because, as I say, it's just literally arrived, but the yellow theme continues quite strongly inside. Interesting truck, so be sure to check the catalogue when the description and information is updated, or if you want to tell us anything you think you might know about it, true or otherwise, let us know in the comments below. But yeah, very yellow, very British, and very cool. Hopefully the door closes better next time. There we go, a quality thunk. There's a new arrival just arrived. Any ideas what's inside? Any guesses? Is it going to be an old Ferrari 250 GTO or
I don't know.
High value classic car? Let's have a look and see what's inside. Oh, one of my favourites, oddly enough, a 54 plate Nissan Cube for the online garage. These are cool. It looks like, always reminded me of, you know, those single strap dresses that ladies wear that go across one shoulder and down to the other, and their shoulders exposed with its weird C-pillar on the back on one side and the exposed sort of glass on the other. I love these, I think they're great things. So this is for the online garage sale on the 20th. Thanks for tuning in and checking out the auction preview. Again, another late arrival here, 1980 450 Mercedes SLC, just been driven to the sale, guided at £7,000, but you'll see that on the catalogue when it appears later on today. Thanks for tuning in. Sale is on the 19th and the online garage on the 20th. Viewing days are the 17th and 18th, which is Monday and Tuesday, 9 till 5. All are welcome, come down, check it out. And thanks for tuning in again. We'll see you soon. Any comments, let us know. Emails, queries, calls, whatever, we're here to help. Thanks a lot.